What's up, guys? Tyler here, Running Bear Central. I'm going to host us another one for the day. This is going to be like a plastic repair 202. And reason being is I did the other one on the back side of the same bumper. It was just a straighten of some plastic all the way from 80 grit or a dent in 80 grit, 180, 320, 600 red Scotch-Brite ready for prime. Now this one's going to be more difficult. This one we actually have to add some material to it. We're going to have to add some plastic to it. It's got a big rip in it. We're going to put some staples in it, give it some longevity. We're going to melt some plastic in it. We're going to, same steps, once we get it fixed, repaired, we're going to 80 it, 180 it, 320 it, 600 red Scotch-Brite, and we'll go through some priming stages. So, this is it. This is our rip. I don't know how well we can see it, but we're going to zoom in on it here. This is our rip. Let's see if we can see the tool from the back side here. There we go. So, it's thin. It's very thin. We're going to get it so it's not so thin. Step number one. Let's get all the paint off. That's a good step. Front and back. There's a couple different ways you could go about it. I should probably use an air tool for the back, but for the front here I'm going to use this razor blade. That way we can keep as much material on there as we possibly can. And really we don't got to scrape all the paint off this, just where we're going to melt the plastic. And I don't want to cut this little tab off. I want to use that for the repair. But we're going to clean this up the best we can. Like I said, get all the paint off where we're going to weld some more plastic. Backside here, I'm going to take this what do you call it? Mud buster? No, I don't know what you want to call it. Scaler. Clean that right up. Bring you guys around, check you out. Pretty gnarly little deep one. So actually what we'll do is we'll come back here. And the old MAP gas, the Body Shop favorite. Some universal plastic. And my spoon. The 4140. We're going to get everything hot. And you want it to, just like if you're welding steel, you want it to penetrate, you want it to be hot enough to where it actually seeps in into the previous plastic. The plastic that we already have here from the bumper. So, now that we got the material on there, we can keep this whole section hot. And we're probably going to put a little more on. Try to mix these plastics in together. Try to push it around. And you need to take, I'm going to take a break here in just a second because you can get this so hot that you just push the plastic right through. Now you got a big gaping hole. Been there, done that. Don't want to do it today. And she is hot right now. And while it's cooling, You can probably see it. I'm massaging this side and trying to keep it straight. I want to keep this plastic as straight as I can. And so as that's cooling, I'm just going to keep moving this around until it cools off. See, there's a good bit of material there. You can see that the material actually bubbled back up. It's a big bump now. I like that. I think it looks really good. We're going to leave it alone. I don't want to touch it anymore. Got a good amount of plastic left over. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to heat it up probably on this spoon. And we're going to slap it right in the front. Alright, so important key is that before we come to the outside, we want to make sure that the inside is cooled off enough to where we can work with the outside again so that it's not gonna burn through, melt through, create a big hole. The inside turned out really well. I'm really happy with it. And so we're gonna do the same thing on the outside. We're gonna give us some material so that way you guys can see, we'll take the tool again to get the glare. You can see that it's sealed. So now what we're gonna do, we have this, it's still cracked and ripped, and to give it some texture, or not texture, but give it some more strength, we're gonna do exactly the same thing on the outside as we did on the inside. Get that hot, there we go. Okay, while it's still hot, I want to put one more coat on it. Really try to melt that in. Same thing we did in the back. Okay, now we're gonna, very important, let it dry. Let it dry. Let it dry, let it cool off. Alright, so it's cooled off, and what we're gonna do is when you give it time to cool off, it gives it time to bond. And really finish hardening up. So what we're going to do now is the same thing we did on the rear of the bumper. And what we're going to do is we're going to push out our low spots with heat and a screwdriver or a hammer or the spoon. And honestly, we might just do it without the heat because I had better luck on the back of this Lexus bumper with no heat. It seemed to stay in spot a little better. So maybe we'll try this side with no heat as well. I was going to put staples in this, but it came out so well that I'm really not a big fan of staples. I like staples, but they're pretty hard to use. I guess it's kind of hard to explain. I honestly don't like them because when I'm sanding, or sometimes I'll push them in too deep. So it's me air. But some people are probably better with staples than others, and maybe someone out there has a good tip for me with these staples. This thing turned out immaculate, I really would like to say. And if it didn't, it'd be ripping by now. Just trying to push on it. And it's good to always test your own things. If you can't break it, nobody else will. So you gotta put your own test up to it. Okay, same steps. Let's start with this Sharp 80 grit. Brand new piece. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. We're gonna chase the low spots again. Just like we did in the back. Because we don't have a ton of material. Right, it's just probably an 1/8 inch thick bumper. So we're gonna push the material where it needs to go. Okay, now as we can see, we still have a spot that needs to come up there, 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 and it looks like this whole edge needs to come up, which it doesn't look too bad from the side, but just by the sander is telling us that this edge needs to come up. Try it again. So you can actually see where we were pushing with the screwdriver. You see the little dimple, little dimple, little dimple. So I say we do it again and not in the same spots. Okay. Now, we're going to come over here. Keep your DA flat to that side of the surface. Looks like it's a low spot, according to the sandpaper here. So, that's fine. Okay, hit it with the 80 again. Is 80 strong enough where we can actually dig those little scratches out of there. Boom, there they are. Feel it. So when it got backed into right here, what it do? It bundled all the material. In fact, we should feel this. This feels pretty good, but it pushed all the material right here. And so this is all high, and this is the low. That just shows you right there how much material we don't take off, because those are just little pushes with the Phillips screwdriver. That's nothing. It's just a little indent. That's all it is. And they're not even getting eaten away right now. So it's going to be our last swipe with the 80. I think it feels pretty good. Oh yeah, I really like that. I really do. And when you're holding your DA on the side like this, so the whole thing's not touching, the back isn't touching here, you're actually recreating that line. So you can see where it's only scratching right here. It's not on the flat side. Just using that nose of the DA. Okay, there it is. Let's get to 180. Different grit, you'll notice that we can start to see the line coming back to life. The angled spots first, and so I went over this, and then if I go over the angled spot, Then I'm gonna come back over and do the flat spot secondary. It looks good, it feels good. Feels really nice. I'm really impressed with that. Might push on it once. Very, very slightly. Okay, 320. Feather those edges out. Nice. Piece of 600. Not the final step, but close. Alright, got that red. Where's our red Scotch-Brite? Get those edges real good. And this'll take any of the last little nipples of plastic off. And it'll clean up dirt on the edges. And the last thing it'll do is it'll make sure that our primer done sticks to our bumper, because that's the most important part. Now, primer is not a tool to be used as a filler. Primer is used to, I guess it can be. I mean, you don't want, it's really not. It's not You need to have your work straight. You don't need to have, I mean, I guess it's, I'm not saying I don't use it for little tiny imperfections, but primer shrinks. And so when it shrinks in a year, it's gonna show you everything you did wrong. So, and that's also why we finished out in 600, is because that way it won't shrink so much. So, I wanna thank you guys for watching. Running Bear Central, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, tell your friends, and I don't know, start working on some cars.